Afghanistan has finally joined China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So recently, after India successfully conducted Operation Sindoor over the territory's 9 terrorist sites in Pakistan, soon after that, Beijing hosted a meeting between Islamabad and Taliban's Afghan government. And in that meeting, which was on Wednesday, May 21st, it was announced that Afghanistan will be becoming a part of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi held talks with the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Ishaq Dar, and Afghanistan's acting Foreign Minister, that is Amir Khan Muttaqi, with the three leaders deciding that Afghanistan would be becoming a part of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is a part of a larger initiative of China under the Belt and Road Initiative. This comes as a big worry for India because India has very clearly objected to this project and towards this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor because it violates our territorial sovereignty and it violates our national territorial integrity as well. Now we all know that we have two hostile neighbors with whom we have had multiple wars. One is China and one is Pakistan. And both of the neighbors are hostile against us and both of the neighbors are nuclear powers. Now because of this, India needs to be very vigilant in relation to the regional stability. And while India is having significant investments in Afghanistan, Afghanistan becoming a part of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is a bad news for India. Now, while China is meddling between both the countries and trying to normalize the ties between Pakistan and Afghanistan, in this meeting, both the countries have agreed in principle to send ambassadors to each other countries as well. So Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister wrote a post on X while writing, Pakistan, China and Afghanistan stand together for regional peace, stability and development. While the reality is that they are practicing exactly the opposite. So they are not practicing what they are preaching and their words and actions are mismatched. Now this development comes at a very strategic point of time. Because after India has successfully completed Operation Sindoor and successfully accomplished the missions in Operation Sindoor as well, China has sided with Pakistan and China has shown its unequivocal support to Pakistan, which is again not new for India and India had already anticipated it. Now while keeping this in mind, this new development of Afghanistan joining the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is a very huge development. So what this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is all about, why India is opposing it, what is the Belt and Road Initiative, and why it is against the territorial sovereignty and integrity of India, and will Afghanistan joining Cpec, will it have any impact on India as an economy in political, economic or security sense or anything, we'll be trying to understand in this particular session. Hello, my name is Preetpal Singh and you're watching Perspective. Now, in the recent informal trilateral meeting between China, Pakistan and Afghanistan, which was held in China, hosted by China, under this meeting, Afghanistan is ready to join the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, short form is Cpec, it's an ambitious project to connect the Xinjiang province of China with the Gwadar port in Pakistan's Balochistan region or Balochistan province through roads, through railways and through energy projects. So it's a 3,000 kilometer long connectivity project between Xinjiang province and the Gwadar port in Pakistan's Balochistan region. Now, Balochistan might ring a bell in your mind. That is the same area, the same province where rebel groups or revolutionary groups are claiming independence. So an issue is going on in the Balochistan region of Pakistan as well. And this is the exact same region where this connectivity project will be there. Now recently China has proposed a construction of Peshawar-Kabul motorway as an extension of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in Afghanistan. Now this project is very ambitious and very beneficial for both the countries, that is China and Pakistan. For China, it gives China a direct access to the Middle East region, to the European markets and also to Indian Ocean through Arabian Sea as well. And additional to that, it helps the Pakistan's already very fragile, already very weak and cumbersome economy as well. So it will help Pakistan's economy to revive. It will help China to get access to Indian Ocean, to Arabian Sea, to the Middle Eastern countries and to Middle Eastern and European markets as well. And this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which was launched in 2015, is a part of a much larger project, much larger ambitious project of China, which is Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. Now, this Belt and Road Initiative was launched in the year 2013. It is again a connectivity project which will link the Southeast Asia, the Central Asia and the Gulf region. So it's an ambitious project of China, which aims to link the Southeast Asian region, is the South Asian region, and also South Asian region with the Central Asian region with the Middle Eastern nation. That is the Gulf region. So three regions are being linked initially. That is South Asian region, then Central Asian region, then Gulf region, and eventually it goes even further to African region and European region as well. So a network of sea and land routes are being created by China, a very ambitious project of China, which will link all these regions and give access to connectivity and will boost trade amongst all these nations which are a part of this particular project. Now, since the start itself, India has been staunchly critical to China-Pakistan economic corridor, and the reason is one, and the reason is simple, and the reason is sufficient. This China-Pakistan economic corridor, it connects the Xinjiang province of China to the Gwadar port of Pakistan's Balochistan region. But the point is that it passes through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Now, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, as you very well know, was a part of Indian territory, is a part of Indian territory, and will remain a part of Indian territory. And it has been illegally occupied by Pakistan. And India definitely wants our territory back, and we want our territory back. And while this territory, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, is an integral part of India, if any project of China is passing through that project, it is directly hitting, undermining, and negatively impacting the territorial integrity and territorial sovereignty of our country. So if a project is challenging our territorial integrity and sovereignty, how could we be in support of that project? Which is why from the start itself, we have been critical and we have been staunchly criticizing the China-Pakistan economic corridor. And as also we know that both Pakistan and China has been hostile towards India in the last many decades. If such type of connectivity project is passing through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, it definitely will pose a defense and security challenge for India in the region as well. And if China gets an direct access to the Indian Ocean, to the Arabian Sea, again it will give a threat to the maritime security of India also, which is again very prominent for India to ensure that maritime routes of India are secured, the trade routes of India are secured, and the boundaries of India are secured. Now, while Afghanistan becomes a part of Cpec, there are a different set of implications which are there for India in this particular instance. So the first implication is that China is trying to fill the void which was left by US. Now, when Russia left a void, US filled it in Afghanistan. When US left a void, China is trying to fill in that void by interfering in Afghanistan region. Now, India is having an investment around $2 billion of investment in Afghanistan region. Now, all those investments might be at risk with Afghanistan leaning towards China or leaning towards Pakistan, which are actually not a good friend to India. And by Afghanistan becoming a part of Belt and Road Initiative, becoming part of Cpec, eventually it might increase the dependence of Afghanistan on China. And that is what China does. It's debt trap diplomacy. Slowly and slowly, China might give debt to Afghanistan, and again, Afghanistan might also become a part of the debt trap diplomacy of China. And our investments in Afghanistan would be at risk. So that is one very big apprehension which we have. Another is the undermining of Chabahar port, which is a continuation of the first point itself. So India has invested very heavily in the Chabahar port in Iran. Now, because of the issues between Iran and US, India has not been able to properly utilize Chabahar port to the great extent. But still, this Afghanistan joining the China-Pakistan economic corridor might undermine the trilateral link between India, Afghanistan and Iran. And the continuation to the first 2 points is that it might lead to a weakening India's link and weakening India's economic influence in the region as well. Because if Afghanistan is leaning towards China, which definitely it is leaning towards China, this will weaken India's economic influence, because India had around $2 billion investment in development works and construction of roads, railways, power plants, dams, even the parliament building, the rural development, the education infrastructure. With extension of Cpec, now China will play a leading role in Afghanistan. While China taking the space which have been left by US as a void, this is definitely going to shift the balance of power in the entire global geopolitics. Now, additional to this, there are certain very serious concerns as well. The biggest concern is in relation to terrorism. Now, Afghanistan was initially used as a land for perpetrating terror against India. So it was used as breeding grounds for Lashkar-e-Toiba, for Jaish-e-Mohammed. And now it is not being used. But the apprehension is that again, if Pakistan and Afghanistan becomes close, and again if China is meddling into it, it might again become a breeding ground for terrorism against India. And also, additional to that, if China tries eventually to interfere into the Air Force base in Afghanistan, it might again challenge India's strategic autonomy and India's air sovereignty. So, overall, what we are trying to see over here is that while Afghanistan leans towards China, and China is interfering in Afghanistan, and Pakistan is developing good relations with Afghanistan again, it will not go well for India. Now, India definitely needs to see itself. We need to improve our connectivity with the different other regions as well. But China-Pakistan economic corridor, which is against the territorial sovereignty and integrity of India, Afghanistan, by joining it, has given a clear message that Afghanistan is not siding with India in this regard. And with regard to the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir as well, since we have shown our apprehensions very clearly, Afghanistan, by joining Cpec, has given a clear message to us. Now, additional to this, China is having economic interests, China is having strategic interests, China is having defense-related and security-related interests in Afghanistan. Additional to this, if we talk about the economic interest initially, there are rare earth elements in Afghanistan as well. Afghanistan is rich in minerals. China will also look towards exploiting them as well. So the highly lucrative rare earth mines, rare earth metals in Afghanistan, which already China is the biggest producer in the world of, China will look towards exploiting those resources in Afghanistan as well. Although this is none of our concern, but our concern is to an extent that it is violating our territorial sovereignty integrity by Afghanistan siding Cpec. Afghanistan has also become a third party to this violation of our territorial integrity and sovereignty. That is one concern. Second concern is our apprehension towards our investments being done in Afghanistan. Because as we have very clearly seen in the last 10 years, that China has been against India, Pakistan has been against India. And if China and Pakistan are coordinating with Afghanistan, India's investments in Afghanistan could be at a very vulnerable risk. And overall, this might increase the geopolitical threat, and it might also increase the regional rivalry as well. Contrary to which Pakistan and Chinese foreign ministers say that they are promoting regional stability, peace and development, that their actions are not matching their words. But the real question is that what should India do in this regard? And the answer is very simple, that India should navigate its foreign policy in its own way. India should be promoting the development of the Chabahar port and ensuring that the Chabahar port is working and working swiftly, and we are utilizing Chabahar port as a regional connectivity tool. That is one thing. Also, India needs to leverage International North-South Transport Corridor, INSTC, which also is a regional connectivity program which India is a part of, which connects Central Asia and Eurasia. India should leverage that and promote a trade amongst those routes. And the very recently launched India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, this also IMEC needs to be promoted. The projects under IMEC needs to be completed swiftly, needs to be completed with a good speed, so that trade in these routes also will be promoted in the future, and it is ensured that these are the new age trade routes which develop in the world and connect all these regions. It will definitely strengthen the regional supply chains. It will improve the regional integration by fueling the trade in the whole economy, trade in the whole world, trade in the whole region, by improving the economic performance of the nations individually as well. Now, while all these connectivity measures are at one place, India needs to ensure that all the other neighbor of ours, whether it be Bangladesh, Myanmar, Bhutan, Nepal, or different other neighboring countries of ours, we need to ensure that they are aligned towards India rather than China. Recently, we have seen again, because of the debt trap diplomacy perpetrated by China, most of these countries are favoring China rather than India. Even Maldives, to an extent. But what we need to ensure is that we treat our neighbors equally. We treat our neighbors with respect, and we need to ensure that our neighbors are on our side, because we are the ones who want peaceful and rule-based world order, rather than China, who wherever it goes tries to claim territory, whether it is in India, whether it is in Japan, or different other islands in the South China Sea or in the other regions as well. See, the shift of Afghanistan from a US-led region to the Taliban government which has come recently, the shift of Afghanistan is also not very easy. And Afghanistan now tilting more towards China and Pakistan has given a clear message to India. India should be taking that message on the chin and also giving a staunch reply to these nations by improving its regional connectivity projects with the other countries, other nations who are pro-India. Because there are many nations, many countries in the world who are pro-India. Most of the countries, most of the nations in the world are pro-India. So we need to leverage that profile of ours. We need to leverage our soft power. We need to maintain good relationship with our neighbors, and eventually we'll be able to get an edge in global geopolitics. Various regional platforms, whether it be SAARC, whether it be ASEAN, whether it be SCO, whether it be BIMSTEC, where definitely China and Pakistan in most of the cases are present, India needs to play a proactive role. New ways, new methods, new initiatives need to come from India's side in order to ensure that India plays a leadership role. And definitely for the global south as well, India should play a leadership role and should become the voice of the global south in the world. Only then our aim of becoming a global superpower and becoming developed by the year 2047, that journey will be successful and that ambition will be reached. I hope you gained a new perspective from this session. All the very best and have a beautiful day. Thank you.